Fans of Alchemy of Souls are happy because the first official teaser of the second season was presented. This teaser was very interesting because it gives us an idea of what we can expect in the next chapters. Although we still have to wait until December 10th to be able to see the new season, while we wait we can draw some theories from the images we saw. That's why today I'm going to talk about what you didn't realize about the new teaser of the second season of Alchemy of Souls. We know that the end of the first season was very sad because we didn't expect Mudok to be petrified, nor that Jang-wook's body was burned. For this ending many were angry and frustrated and others were surprised with the desire to see more. We also know that it was confirmed that actress Young So-min will not be in the second season, and because of this information we can have a little more clarity about the things that can happen. In the preview, many things were presented that can mean a lot. First of all, we see Jang-wook sitting pensively in a place where we can see that there is no one and we can assume that there is no one living in that place, or it can also be abandoned. Next to him is Naksu's sword, and that is very curious because he used to use his sword before. However, apparently in this new season he will use Naksu's sword. Now, him using Naksu's sword has a lot of meaning. It could be that he uses it as an act of honoring her memory, or it could be that he uses it as an act of revenge, and that this could represent him becoming a murderer like she was in the past. Or maybe it is also some kind of wish she had about avenging all her enemies, and since she is now gone, he is fulfilling her will. Also, his clothing is darker in color. In the first season he used to wear blue and other bright colors, but in season 2 we have only seen him in black and gray. Clearly these colors have a meaning, and it is that Jang-wook is not the same and now his purpose is not love but revenge. We also saw images of blood, and this can also symbolize that Jang-wook is focused on eliminating all those who hurt Mudok, to eliminate the Souls Shifter, and of course to eliminate Jin-moo. One of the things that are very important is that this second season starts 3 years after the story of the first season. So this can make us think that in these 3 years, without much action, a lot of things happened between the characters, and for that reason we see most of the characters with a dark vibe. This may explain why Jang-wook has so much skill with the sword. Most likely, he spent 3 years practicing to be able to avenge his enemies, but I think he trained to defeat the main enemy, who is Jin-moo. We don't know if Jang-wook found out that Mudok acted that way because of Jin-moo's sorcery, but I imagine that he will find out, and when he finds out he will do everything possible to eliminate him. In the teaser we can see that Jang-wook is fighting with the same one that was presented in the previews of the end of season 1. The outfit of this soul shifter is similar to these men who were at Master Kang's funeral. So this could also mean that there could be an event as it happened years ago where they began to shift souls and there was chaos. Perhaps Jang-wook is in the process of ending the crisis in the village. We can see images of fire, although they are presented quickly. This can also mean the chaos and possible fires that have arisen because of the same chaos, very similar to what happened in the past. Something that I find very curious is that in one part you can see feathers or perhaps the leaves of flowers falling from a tree. It is something that cannot be distinguished clearly. But we can also see something similar on the floor when they are fighting. Also, this can present that Jang-wook entered a house and broke something like a pillow, but it is very difficult to see clearly. But if we are going to talk about one of the most surprising things in this new teaser, is the image of the young girl sitting down wearing a white dress. Many fans when they saw these images were surprised because you could see the hand in a petrified form, and it is very similar to Mudok's hand. Now who is it really, Mudok or Naksu? Although we could think that it is Mudok, it is really Naksu because if we see the body it looks bigger than Mudok's, and also this girl has long black like Naksu has. Another detail is that she has a white dress very similar to the dress that Naksu presented in the previews of the new season. The explanation we can give to Naksu's petrified hand is that since she shifted to her original body, she has some energy imbalance, and that's why she has that mark on her hand. Perhaps she may even be petrifying herself, but she may be receiving some kind of treatment to prevent her from going feral. Recall that once Jin-moo asked Jang why soul shifters went wild, and he told him that when they shifted their soul it was as if they left open a space where the energy could go, and that drove them crazy. And it was a consequence of shifting the soul. If we go by this explanation, it is very likely that the process that Naksu's soul went through caused an energy problem that is evident in her hand, and could also explain that the soul of Buyeon and Naksu could continue in the same body. Perhaps the hand is a sign that she has been struggling with that problem for 3 years, and still Jang-wook doesn't know where she is, and the story is heading that he has to find her so that she won't finally be petrified. Recall that he has the ice stone and thus may have the power to remove that from her body, and she can heal completely. Maybe by saving her he loses his great power of the ice stone, and thus another beautiful love story can be narrated. While introducing the teaser, Jang-wook says, I should have died back then. I am someone who should not exist. If my power is justification, no one can get out of here alive. These comments can mean a lot. When he says, I should have died back then, he could be remembering the things his father Jang told him about the importance of him not opening his energy, so that he could live. He could also be remembering what happened to Mudok and has remorse because he couldn't save her, because he then says that, I am someone who shouldn't exist. Then he says that, if my power is the justification, no one can leave here alive. Here he may be referring to the fact that he knows everything about his past and his prophecy, and as he has the knowledge that he was born with the energy of the King's Star, and also knows that he resurrected, because he has the ice stone, he can recognize that he has the power to eliminate and do whatever he wants, because of course he is very hurt by what happened. The interesting thing is that with these words he is apparently very aware of the power he has, and is also determined to avenge the death of Mudok. Also, another detail is the place where Naksu is. The most normal thing is to think that she is somewhere hidden in Hoyoung's house, because some images were presented that looks like her house. But in this new teaser, the place where Naksu is more like the secret place where they once took Naksu's body when she had shifted her soul. So we're still very curious as to where he might be. What other details did you notice from the teaser? Leave your comment here so we can read it. And don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends.